Muhammadu Buhari approves 7.5 billion naira research grants for 2020. Federal government lists fresh conditions for schools reopening. Timmy Frank blasts Nigerian army for arresting soldier over comments on Buratai service chiefs. 13,000 apply for Amotekun jobs in Osun State. President Muhammadu Buhari recognizes Chief Victor Giadam as APC acting national chairman. PDP governorship aspirants in Edo, Imaswagban says greater obstacles await Godwin Obaseki at upcoming primary election. Police arrest pastor, 11 others for raping in Akwa Ibom. And now the news in detail. The Tertiary Education Trust Fund, TET Fund, has received approval to increase the National Research Fund, NRF, to 7.5 billion naira for the year 2020 from its initial 3 billion naira. The approval, which was granted by President Muhammadu Buhari, provides TET Fund the opportunity to provide 12 COVID-19 and related infectious disease molecular laboratories, 2 in each geopolitical zone, making the fund the highest single provider of COVID-19 test centers in Nigeria. Executive Secretary of TET Fund, Professor Suleiman Bogoro, who disclosed this as the 2020 TET Fund Board of Trustees retreat, but in Abuja, explained that the latest approval makes the agency the largest holder of research grants in Nigeria. He also disclosed that the board of TET Fund approved over 200 million naira to sponsor some COVID-19 research proposals, mainly from universities and the National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control, NAFDAC. The executive secretary also said that Buhari approved the establishment of 6 medical simulation research and clinical training facilities in 6 colleges of medicine in each geopolitical zone this year. Mogoro also said the agency received approval from the 2020 budget to aggressively commit funds to reverse the embarrassing situation of hostel accommodation in tertiary institutions and making learning environments more attractive for local and foreign students. According to him, only 15% of Nigerian students are living in hostel accommodation in their institutions. Meanwhile, federal government has listed fresh conditions for the reopening of schools and learning institutions in the country. The guidelines are contained in a 36-page document titled Guidelines for Schools and Learning Facilities Reopening After COVID-19 Pandemic Closure. The document was submitted to the Senate by the Minister of Education, Malam Adamu. Adamu, in this document, described the conditions as key strategies for implementing safe, efficient, and equitable plans for school reopening and operations. He explained that the conditions were arrived at after consultation with health, environmental, education, and school safety experts who were tasked with the responsibility of charting a pathway for the safe reopening of schools and learning facilities. A major point of conditionality is that schools must create immediate temporary COVID-19 isolation space before they can be considered to reopen. Schools are also mandated to ensure the establishment of a school COVID-19 referral system, including protocols and procedures to take if learners, teachers, administrators, and other education personnel became unwell while in school. In the meantime, a civil society organization, CSO, the Center for Social Justice, CSJ, says it has instituted no less than 16 different lawsuits against some federal government agencies over alleged misappropriation of public funds to the tune of 1.5 trillion naira. The lead director of the center, Mr. Eze Onyekpere, who made the disclosure during a virtual media dialogue, said the CSO instituted the court actions in hope of recovering alleged looted funds to support developmental projects in the country. Onyekpere lamented that while Nigeria suffers under a huge foreign loan burden, revenues which ought to be deployed towards financing annual budgets and other key projects are allegedly diverted by government agencies. He explained that the CSO is now making the series of litigation dockets public as a means of exposing the degree of corruption in government agencies. The suits currently under the litigation at various stages in the Federal High Court Abuja, according to the CSO, include a case against the Director General Securities and Exchange Commission over alleged non-remittance of over 2 billion naira representing 25% of the internally generated revenue (IGR) realized in 2015 and 2016. Onyekpere further assured that the CSO was ready to follow the litigations to their logical conclusions to serve as a deterrent to other government agencies that may be dishonest in the utilization of public funds. He, however, lamented that notable lawyers are often hired using public funds to defend suspected agencies whenever they are dragged to court over allegations of embezzlement. Onyekpere further appealed to President Muhammadu Buhari to warn heads of different government agencies over the lack of accountability and transparency in the utilization of public funds. Former Deputy National Publicity Secretary of the All Progressives Congress (APC), Timmy Frank, has called on the Nigerian Army to immediately release Lance Corporal Martins. Martins was arrested after making a video that criticized the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Tukur Buratai, and other security chiefs. The soldier was reportedly picked up by senior military officers who said they were acting on orders from above. In a viral video, the soldier condemned Buratai, Chief of Defense Staff, General Bayomi Olonishakin, and other military heads over the incessant killings in Nigeria. He lambasted them for ordering the detention of soldiers who demanded better weapons and ammunition to combat Boko Haram and other sects. On Twitter, Frank said after watching Martin's video, he concluded that Nigeria is indeed in big trouble. He said the footage has clearly shown the reason why these service chiefs have refused to retire even when they are due for retirement. Frank noted that Nigeria has a very strong military force, but there has been no support for them to carry out their duties because of the corruption amongst the service chiefs. He added that from all indications, Boko Haram is more prepared than Nigerian military. 13,000 applicants have applied for recruitment into the Western Nigeria Security Network, codenamed Operation Amotekun Corps in Osun State. The Director General Amotekun Corps in the state, Comrade Amitolu Shitu, disclosed this today. Governor Gboyega Oyetola had on Monday, June 15, directed that recruitment into the Amotekun Corps should commence. The time limit for application, which lapsed last Friday, was later extended till Tuesday. In a chat with journalists, Comrade Shitu said the successful applicants would soon be shortlisted and subjected to other tests. In the meantime, President Muhammadu Buhari has recognized Chief Victor Gedon as acting national chairman of the All Progressives Congress (APC). The president's position was made known by Senior Special Assistant on Media and Publicity, Malam Garuba Shehu, in a statement today. The statement also said the president would be attending the virtual National Executive Council (NEC) meeting of the party, scheduled to hold in the State House tomorrow. The statement said the position of president was informed by the fact that the law is on the side of Gedon as acting national chairman. Meanwhile, the Ondo State Governor Arakunrin Rotimi Akeredolu today reacted to allegations of bribing members of the State House of Assembly with 10 million naira each to impeach his deputy Agbola Ajayi. Akeredolu described the allegation as a tactic to distract his administration. Ajayi's Deputy Chief Press Secretary Tope Okeowo had yesterday alleged that 26 lawmakers of the State House of Assembly collected 10 million naira each to illegally impeach the Deputy Governor. Okeowo had alleged that the impeachment move was because of Ajayi's defection from the All Progressives Congress (APC) to the People's Democratic Party (PDP) on Monday. However, Akeredolu explained that he cannot waste his personal and state resources on what he termed a sunken ship. You are listening to Teamset National News, coming to you from Teamset 94.1 FM, transmitting live from Iliajun, Okeagboja, Ijebu-Jesha in the state of Osun, Nigeria. You're welcome back. You can watch us live and direct on YouTube and Facebook at Teamset 94.1 FM. You can also listen to us globally on Radio Garden. Download Teamset app on Google Play Store. And now to the rest of the news. Justice Emmanuel Obile of the Federal High Court in Port Harcourt has struck out an application by a governorship aspirant of the People's Democratic Party (PDP), Omorege Ogbede Ihama, seeking to stop Edo State Governor Godwin Obaseki from participating in the party primaries scheduled for tomorrow. Justice Obile struck out the suit after all the parties in the matter agreed to resolve their issues. Edo State People's Democratic Party governorship aspirant Omorege Ogbede Ihaima has asked for an out-of-court settlement in his suit to stop Governor Godwin Obaseki from participating in the primaries of the party. Ogbede Ihaima made the application through his lawyer Ferdinand Ogbe SAN to settle out of court when the matter was heard before Justice Obile of the Federal High Court, Port Harcourt. It will be recalled that the PDP governorship aspirant had asked the court to restrain Edo State Governor Godwin Obaseki from contesting the party primaries after vowing not to step down for him. Meanwhile, Kenneth Imaswagbon of the People's Democratic Party (PDP) governorship aspirants in Edo State has said greater obstacles await Godwin Obaseki at the upcoming primary election. Imaswagbon said Obaseki would be defeated during PDP's primary election scheduled to hold tomorrow. Appearing on a television program, the governorship aspirant said the primary election was between godfathers and delegates. Imaswagbon had earlier, in a statement, refuted reports of stepping down for Obaseki ahead of the party's primary election. The Independent National Electoral Commission has rejected the notice of governorship primaries sent to it by the ruling All Progressives Congress (APC). The electoral body hinged its decision on the fact that the notice was signed by only the party's acting national secretary. It said that was contrary to the Commission's guidelines, which requires that such notice should be jointly signed by the national chairman and the national secretary of the political party. The Commission conveyed its position to the APC in a letter dated June 22, 2020, and signed by its secretary, Mrs. Rose Oriano Anthony. In rejecting the notice, INEC asked the APC to issue a fresh notice that will comply with its guidelines. In the meantime, former Deputy President of the Senate, Senator Ike Ekweremadu, has advocated early and staggered primary elections as panacea for highly contentious nomination process in Nigeria's electoral system. Ekweremadu spoke today during a webinar on electoral reforms, National Assembly and the People's Expectations, which was organized by the Center for Liberty Abuja in conjunction with the Open Society Initiative for West Africa, or CIWA. The lawmaker, who steered electoral reforms between 2007 and 2019, observes that the very close proximity of primary elections to main elections had always increased desperation on the part of political actors and compounded litigations and logistical problems for both the political parties and the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC. Ekweremadu, according to a statement by spokesman Uche Anichukwu in Abuja, said in the United States of America, presidential primaries begin about 12 months to the election, climaxing in the convention where an already known candidate is affirmed. He also explains that direct and staggered primary elections would compel aspirants to campaign at the grassroots for the support of every party member. The senator expressed disappointment over the denial of presidential assent to critical electoral reforms by the National Assembly and that many of the successful reforms were continually observed in the breach. A pastor of a deliverance center in Uyo, the Akwa Ibom state capital, has been arrested by the State Police Command for attempted rape. The pastor, 133-year-old Inifon Inyang, who lives at Nuhung Atim Road off Idioro Uyo, attempted to rape a 21-year-old girl. The State Commissioner of Police, Imoine Edgar, disclosed this at a media briefing at the command's headquarters, Ikot Akpan Abia, today, while parading the suspect and 11 others. The commissioner said the police discovered that there are 8 other girls between the ages of 13 years and 16 years living with the pastor, and he had in the past repeatedly raped one of them. The commissioner, who also paraded other suspected rapists, expressed dismay at the rate at which rape cases, especially from caregivers and supposed spiritual fathers, are on the increase. He enjoined the general public, particularly parents and guardians, to be more cautious of the integrity of persons to whom they entrust their children and wards. And before I go tonight, here again are the highlights. President Muhammadu Buhari approves 7.5 billion naira research grants for 2020. Federal government lists fresh conditions for schools reopening. Timmy Frank blasts Nigerian army for arresting soldier over comments on Buratai service chiefs. 13,000 apply for Amotekun jobs in Osun State. President Muhammadu Buhari recognizes Chief Victor Gedam as APC acting national chairman. PDP governorship aspirants in Edo, Imaswagon says greater obstacles await Godwin Obaseki at upcoming primary election. And finally, police arrest pastor, 11 others for raping in Akwa Ibom. That ends the national news, read by Olamide Teju and packaged by Afolabi Koka. Good evening and many thanks for listening.
Hello everyone, hope you are keeping safe by using sanitizer. It's the responsible thing to do.
I urge you to use whichever soap that is nearest to you, because washing hands with soap helps to fight the coronavirus.
Stay at home, stay safe. This is the right thing to do at this time. Together, we'll beat this thing. Are you ready now? Are you ready, man?
kó sọ fún toko káàdó gbọ́ kúrò fún ọbẹ̀ pé lásìkò àjàkálẹ̀ àrùn coronavirus yìí kárí pé à ń fọwọ́ wa pẹ̀lú ọṣẹ lóòrèkóòrè ká sì máa fi ìpawọ́ apakòkòrò sanitasi àpawọ́ wa ẹ ṣọ́ra fún à ń bọni lọ́wọ́ tàbí dèmọ́ra ẹni kí gbogbo ẹni tó ń sí tàbí wúkọ́ máa fi nǹkan bomú bẹnu wọn ẹ jẹ́ ká yàgò fún ìpéjọpọ̀ ọlọ́pọ̀ èrò ká sì rí pé àyíká wa mọ́ tónítóní ẹ má sì jẹ́ ká kọtí ikú sí òfin àtìlànà ìjọba láti ṣẹ́gun àrùn coronavirus yìí tá a bá wá ń kẹ́fí ẹni tó ń wúkọ́ ṣébà tàbí tó ń rẹ̀wẹ̀sì tí àtìmí sókè sódò ń dìnira fún ẹ̀yà agbérò ẹni bẹ́ẹ̀ gbalẹ̀ ìwòsàn lọ fún àyẹ̀wò ẹ jẹ́ ká kó ìgbìyànjú ìjọba lọ́wọ́ láti fòpin sí àrùn coronavirus yìí àjàkálẹ̀ àrùn kò ní fi ilé wa ṣebùgbé o iléeṣẹ́ Teamsed 94.1 FM ilé àjíwọ̀n òkè àgbójà ìjẹ̀bú ìjẹ̀ṣà nípínlẹ̀ Ọ̀ṣun ló ń ké tantan.
Dende ọ̀rọ̀.
100 dende ọ̀rọ̀ ló